I think it's quite useful to look at thinking as a kind of a drug or as an addiction. And we're addicted to thought, and we're afraid if we don't think, we'll just disappear. So that, this is why there's difficulty about meditation so much, not sort of lack of technique, but the willingness to apply it. But if we look at thinking as an addiction, then I think we can also compare it with the different strategies people have for abandoning addictions. Let's compare it, say, with smoking. Now, one way of giving up smoking is just to say, right, from today I'm never going to smoke another cigarette. Okay, and some people can do that, some people can't. But another strategy that some people use is, say, smoking 20 cigarettes today, tomorrow I'm going to smoke 19 and 18. You just gradually reduce the number from 20 to 0 so that you don't have this sudden jolt and the sort of cold turkey experience. Now, I think this can be applied to meditation, that if you take a meditation object such as the breath, or a meditation word, maybe used in conjunction with the breath, like Buddha, then it's like giving up cigarettes all at one go. You're not giving any space at all to the thinking mind at all. Whereas sometimes the power, the momentum of thought is so strong, it's just basically the mind wants to think, it needs to think at this time. And using that first technique of the of breath can be frustrating and not very successful. So what can you do? You use a meditation technique which employs thinking. So the only thing to bear in mind here is you have to think systematically. You have to follow a train of thought. It doesn't mean thinking this, thinking that, basically on a subject of Dhamma, because the mind will not become clear and calm in that way. But if you're taking the 32 parts of the body, or the first 5 parts of the body, hair of the head, hair of the body, nails, teeth and skin, and investigating them one by one, considering them in terms of impermanence, unattractiveness, not self, for instance, and allowing the mind to think and to imagine and to expand upon those themes one by one, or taking the subject of death, the fact of the inevitability of our death, the uncertainty of the time or the particular cause of death, and so on. These kinds of discursive meditations can allow us to gradually reduce our addiction to thinking. And if you follow one of these meditations through in that kind of systematic way, and sometimes before beginning this kind of meditation, you can maybe write down a few points, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, and to do it in a bit of an artificial way until after a certain amount of practice you become fluent at it and you don't have to think in that way. Then you reach a certain point where it's as if the mind just gets bored of thinking. It's just like the thinking's a heavy weight and you just, I don't want this anymore. And you just put down the burden of thought, and then the mind can go to the non-discursive objects such as the breath in a very complete, enthusiastic, committed kind of way. So dealing with the addiction of thought by cutting it off right at the beginning, by turning the mind to the breath or some physical sensation or some word or some concept, or else using discursive thought in a very systematic, step-by-step manner until the mind puts down thinking with a sigh of relief.